Hey guys, welcome back. Dixie here. I am wearing sunglasses today because I had an eye issue and I am not allowed to wear makeup, and being me, that's not acceptable. So please forgive my movie star good looks today. I I have a time capsule for you. I went down to my parents' house and they are doing some cleaning out. And over the years, I have stored books there as I've moved around for grad school and some other jobs and things. And these are the books that I've kept. And I thought I would do a little video kind of unboxing them because I don't keep a lot of books. And I think it's really important and booktube to kind of give people an idea of like your reading preferences and what you like. And I thought no better way to do that than to go through, and this might be part one of two, some of the books that I have kept. I'm going to get some new bookshelves and I'm going to put them on display. But before I do that, let's go through and just kind of get a little snapshot of my reading history. Many of these books are from about 20 to 15 years ago. Some of them are older, some of them are from when I was a child, just a few. And then some of them are a little bit newer, maybe 10 years ago. So I'm going to go through. Let's get started. Okay, first book up is actually a set of two books. If you can see, Richard Brautigan, In Watermelon Sugar and Revenge of the Lawn. So when I first really got into reading, I've always been into reading as a child, but in my early 20s, I went totally book crazy. So these are some of the books from that era, and these two in particular, sorry, let me get that right, were written by Richard Brautigan in the 60s. And I got really into reading just kind of throughout history, American fiction. And Richard Brautigan is really, really cool because he was a hippie. He didn't make a lot of money off these stories. In fact, when he started writing stories, he would Xerox them at his, I think, local library and just pass them around San Francisco. So these stories are very, very unique, and I have not read anybody like him in regards to short story writers. So I'm definitely keeping these. And two others from the master of the short story. Can you see me? Hi. Raymond Carver. So I absolutely love his stories. His stories are what got me into writing. I don't talk much about my career on here, but I do have a long history of different writing jobs, career. But Raymond Carver was the top of the list, the reason that I wrote Raymond Carver. So these are Where I'm Calling From and Cathedral, my absolute two favorites of his. I did order a few years ago, I can't remember who put them out. I'll have to show them on here, but they kind of republished all of his works into a series that kind of, they all looked nice and matched. Normally I don't care about that, but because it was Raymond Carver, I did order those, but I will never, ever give up the originals. So I'm going to keep those. Next on the docket is Oblivion by David Foster Wallace. This was gifted to me by a friend who actually met him at a book signing. And so he did, I believe he signed this copy. Yes, he did. So this is a signed David Foster Wallace. I have read, I think, most of these stories, but I don't think I've read them all. You'll see later on kind of my David Foster Wallace take, but he is such an amazing writer. I know he gets a lot of shit. I don't know why. Lately, I haven't really looked into it, but just a seminal postmodern writer, in definitely the era that I love. So I'm keeping that. And then we're going way back. Da-da-da-da. Look at that. Original copies, Beverly Cleary, Ramona Forever, Ramona Quimby, age 8. Absolutely love Ramona. These were my absolute favorites of hers. And so they have stuck with me all of these years. If you don't know, Ramona's a precocious little girl who has a lot of different adventures. So I will be keeping these. And I actually think I will reread them for the channel. I want to do a series kind of rereading my absolute favorites. So these should be on the list. All right, and next up we have, I'm kind of doing these in pairs a little bit. We have two books that are self-help books. I don't read a lot of self-help books. For some reason, I bought a lot in my life, but these two are the best, in my opinion. So we'll start with Eckhart Tolle. His book, The Power of Now, this book took me like 6 times before I could get through it. It's very heady and deep and like just real, like a lot. But when I did finally get through it, I really appreciated it. And honestly, if I see a copy of this book, I'm buying it. And I'm usually giving it to somebody. So I love this book. It's about being in the present moment, and the present moment's the only thing that exists. And for someone who has anxiety, this is it. If you can stomach it. His book, A New Earth, is also very good, and I do have that somewhere that I will be keeping. But this is his seminal work. And then Gary Zukav's Seat of the Soul. This was recommended to me a long time ago by a therapist that I had, actually. And this talks about how you are not your thoughts, you are the awareness behind your thoughts, that kind of concept. But very, very great book. Love it. Now, this next two, I think, are a bit newer. I don't know why they were kind of in this storage area. But Let's Pretend This Never Happened by Jenny Lawson. Amazing, amazing woman, amazing writer, someone who struggles greatly with mental health, but she turns it into art. She's actually oddly best friends with Neil Gaiman. I can't remember how that came about, but her writing is not like his, I'll tell you that. And it's beautiful on the inside. You can see all the taxidermy animals. And these are just amazing, amazing stories. And I remember when I got this, reading it by a pool and absolutely loving it. So I'm definitely going to keep this. A lot of short story collection. I'm surprised because I don't normally read those now. And then this classic, Hyperbole and a Half, absolutely love. Was a webcomic. Most people I would think would know about that, but maybe you don't. Just a really rudimentary drawings webcomic that was written by Ali Brosh. And she also, I think she struggles with depression pretty severely. And she's a very, I don't want to say like Thomas Pynchon, but she kind of disappeared after she wrote this. It was a raving success based on her webcomic. But yeah, she gets really deep. That's actually her and her dog in the drawing there. Classic book. Absolutely love. Let me know in the comments if you've read this. This is a pretty popular one. I can't let it go. I can't. Next up, I'm going to go through a stack of books that I don't even remember if I did read, and I'm surprised that I kept them around. But I'm going to go through them because I think I am still going to keep them and read through them. You can see the horrible sticker. Sorry for the glare today. This is by Steve Almond. It's called My Life in Heavy Metal. Steve Almond is an amazing writer. He wrote a book called Candy Freak, which I don't know where that is. We'll have to see if it's in part 2. I have another box, so we'll see. But his book, Candy Freak, and this book, they're just amazing. And he kind of fought against the traditional publishing system back in the day. So like probably mid-2000s, so like 20 years ago. And he started publishing his own works. Highly recommend Steve Almond. Harder to find, but definitely worth it. And then this book here, Tar, A Midwest Childhood by Sherwood Anderson. Sherwood Anderson wrote Winesburg, Ohio, which is an amazing book. And I picked this up. It's very old. Let's see if I can see through my glasses to tell you how old it is. It's from 1926. So I do want to read this. I need to prioritize this maybe this winter. But the way he writes is so simple and gorgeous and beautiful. And he actually wrote and published a book of his journals. And his journals were just like 1 or 2 sentences a day. It was really interesting. Kind of reminded me of David Sedaris's book, where he has like a compendium of all his journal entries. So very, very, very good author. Great American novelist. So love it. And then this book, I don't know why I keep this around. Luncheonette. I was a server for many years. Maybe that's why, but we'll see. I have actually wanted to write a book about my experiences as a server, and I think this would be good research for it, actually. So I'm going to keep this, again, forever, for many years. I don't know why. I haven't read it. If you've read it, please let me know in the comments if you liked it. And the next is a book by Natalie Goldberg, who wrote Writing Down the Bones, which is just a very, very, very important book in the canon of finding your way as a writer and different styles, and it's just gorgeous. And then this book here is called Wild Mind, Living the Writer's Life. And I actually have not read this. I've read Writing Down the Bones many times. So this will be on my TBR. And then actually in this area where I kept all these books, I had a lot of books about writing. So that's, adjacent to the Natalie Goldberg. And then this one, Sin and Syntax, really gets down to the nitty gritty and punctuation and all of that goodness. I don't know if I actually read this whole thing. I know I've paged through it. So I decided to go ahead and keep that and just, again, page through it and see if it's valuable to me. And then this book here, The Collected Stories of Amy Hempel. Again, short stories. I don't know. I don't know why there's so many. This, I think, was gifted to me, but in like 2010. So this is actually, kind of in the same timeline of some of these. But yeah, Amy Hempel is an amazing short story writer. I've read several of these stories, but I'm keeping it because I want to revisit them and then hopefully read the whole book. It's kind of a thickie, actually, for a short story collection. So we'll see about that. And up next, ZZ Packer, Drinking Coffee Elsewhere. This book is also short stories. And there's a short story in here about a Girl Scout troop that is one of my absolute favorite short stories of all time. So I keep this around for that story. As you can see, it was a super buy. Don't know where I got that. In the vein of books about writing, Bird by Bird, Anne Lamont's seminal, everybody needs to read this if you want to write. I actually remember reading this. It was a really random story. I was reading this when my car got towed for the first time. I never had a car towed before, and I was convinced the car was stolen, and I had to wait for someone to come pick me up, and I was trying not to think about it, so I was trying to read this instead. Random story. Gotta keep it, I guess. I don't know. Moving on. Michael Perry, Population 485. This book is great. It's about the author Michael Perry. You can see here. He was a nurse. He grew up in Wisconsin. He was a male nurse in Colorado, I think, and held a couple different jobs out there before returning back to Wisconsin to start a writing career. I think he was in his early 40s at the time. I'm not sure. Late 30s, early 40s. And this book is about his experience as a EMT, like a volunteer EMT in that area, very rural, and different calls that he went out on, different people he dealt with. I'm a hypochondriac. I don't know why I like this book. But the characters in it are so vivid to me. The people he writes about and how he writes about them has a lot of depth and heart. So I do recommend that as a read, and why I kept it. Finally, we have a classic, Faulkner, As I Lay Dying. This book absolutely blew my mind when I read it, and I have since reread it, and I will reread it again. I haven't read any of other Faulkner's works. I did try to read, I can't remember which ones I've tried to read, but that was many, 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 many years ago. Again, this is probably from like 2006, I want to say, this book. So yeah, I definitely want to give Faulkner another chance. I definitely have read this multiple times. So if you have any recommendations for Faulkner, please put them in the comments. I would love to hear about them. Gotta keep that one. Absolutely love. And we're getting down there. So next one is a quirky book, American Babe by Babe Walker. Absolute crazy book. It says a white girl problems book. So there were a couple of these books published. Babe Walker is actually a made-up character, I think written by a couple guys. I'm not even sure. But she's rich and vapid, and they had a Twitter account, I believe, back when it was Twitter. And she was such just a bitch, and I loved it. And they actually wrote a couple of these books, and this was my favorite one, so I definitely want to keep it. So if you're looking for, like, this would be a great fun summer read, real sassy, fun, shallow in the most beautiful way. So Babe, I'm keeping. Another book of short stories. So hopefully in part 2 I'll get more novels, because that's mostly what I've kept, I thought. But Nora Ephron, I Remember Nothing, and Other Reflections. Her book, I Feel Bad About My Neck, is absolutely one of my favorite books of all time. There she is. Yay! Fantastic writer. I love reading this book. I love reading these stories and picking up and just reading one. Yeah, I'll probably keep these forever. And then the next 2 are by the same author. They're really big and heavy. You can see Amy Sedaris. And these, if you haven't seen them, so Amy Sedaris is the brother of David Sedaris, who I actually absolutely love and have for many, many years. But these books are her kind of, God, what's the word for it? It's satirical, maybe? I don't know. They're just goofy, and they're just stupid and beautiful, and they're full of funny pictures and crafts, I think. Yeah, this one is Crafts for Poor People. It says in the subtitle. So these are just stupid crafts that she's made. This would be a great book for somebody in your life that's funny and goofy to give them as a gift. It's like a coffee table book. And then I Like You by Amy Sedaris. This one, it says Hospitality Under the Influence. So I think this one is like goofy recipes and tablescapes and party plans. And yeah, it's just super fun. I actually am going to put these on my coffee table. And there are recipes in here. And some of them are jokes, and some of them I think are real. So maybe I'll have to try to find one to make. So yep, keeping these. All right, and the next 2 and the last 2 are my, if I had to only keep 5 books, these would probably be in it. Well, one of them for sure would be at the top of the list. Just the best of the best. So, and this book here is actually really almost kind of rotten from being in a dank basement. So I probably shouldn't keep it. It's probably a health hazard. The Infinite Jest. Well, not but the copy of Infinite Jest that I read. See that? That might be black mold. I don't know. It's disgusting. There's a hair hanging off it. I don't know if you can see that. But yes, I have read Infinite Jest. Okay? It was many years ago. And I did read the whole thing. I read all 400 and some pages of footnotes. I read the whole thing. And as I was reading this book in a coffee shop, I met who would later become my best friend, who came up to me and asked me about it. A complete stranger at the time. So I keep this book in honor of him. I can't get rid of it. It's disgusting. I probably should wear gloves or put it in a bag. I'm not exaggerating. Like, it's gross. But you can see throughout things I've underlined, notes I took. I've never been somebody to do like tabs, but I have underlined, I have in the margins. There's actually a receipt in here I'm trying to get to that's fading away. And it is for sesame, cheddar sticks, and Moroccan mint tea. And it is from September 19th of 2004. Yeah. That's probably from when I was reading it. And if you look in the back, I'll just flash this quickly. Those are all words that I read in this book and I had to look up. So when I was reading this is 2004, I carried around with me a huge dictionary, which was also something I saved because I looked around for many years to find the perfect dictionary, and I found it, American Heritage. I can't remember what volume. Maybe I'll do that in part 2. But yeah, I had to have it. I had to keep it. I can't get rid of it. I don't know what to do. The biohazard net, I don't know. I guess it'll kill me. Whatever. I'm keeping it. So, yeah, that's it. That's the book. And next up is my favorite book of all time, and the copy of a book that if I had to get rid of every single book in my collection, I would not part with it. I could get rid of all of these. I could even get rid of this crummy copy of Infinite Jest, but I could not ever give up my copy of The Outsiders. This book, I don't know if you can see it, the corners have been eaten by a mouse. I bought it that way. Which is probably why it was only a quarter. I bought this when I was, I want to say 12 years old, 14. No, probably 12. Maybe 13. I think 12. Maybe even 11. I was young. I was young when I bought this. I was probably, actually, no, I was probably in 4th grade. And I bought this at a garage sale for a quarter. And on a hot summer day, I laid over an air conditioning vent in our home and I read the whole thing. And it blew my mind. It transported me from my small town I grew up in to a completely different place. And this is where I learned the power of reading. This book. I've been a reader before that. I've been a reader my whole life, but this is the book that changed my life. And I cannot ever get rid of it. So those are all the books that I have for you today for the Time Capsule haul. I do have a whole other box. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's in there. I can't remember. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this kind of gives you an idea of my background and what stuff I've been interested in, like over my reading career. Back in the day, especially. I mean, most of the books that I review now are books that I've read recently. So this gives you a foundation of kind of where I came from literary wise. And you can see a lot of it is literary fiction. Especially my favorite era is literary fiction that was written from the 90s to the mid 2000s. So yeah, that's it. That's all I have today. This might be super long. I haven't even checked the timestamp. Again, forgive the glasses. Although I must say, I kind of like them. I think I got these at the dollar store, guys. Yeah, but I think they're kind of fun. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for being here. If you're still here, I am very, very, very impressed and grateful. And please join me again next time. I don't know when I'll do part 2 of this. Let me know if you'd like to see part 2. I probably will do it anyway, but it'd be nice to have a little encouragement. And I would just want to shout out the Youngs and the Restless, giving me a shout out on YouTube here. I am just so grateful for them. Lauren is amazing, and I can't wait to read Ben's book. So I will link their channel below. Please check them out. All right, take care. Keep reading.